joined you today for a Grand Prix race, and the rider that I'll be using today is Fabio Quartararo on the Patronus Yamaha SRT bike. So this is the rider that I've been voted to use for this race, and we're going to be doing, I believe it's a 7-lap race around the Chang International Circuit in Thailand. So for the setup I've made a couple of little changes. Let's go over that. Just basically make the bike a little bit more stable and to set up a suitable gear ratio for this track. Obviously lots of long straights, and also coming out with low speed corners, going to want the drive, especially on the second corner and the last corner of the circuit. Traction control 3, engine brake 2, because I don't like the back end sliding around too much. Anti-wheel on 3, and power mapping will be varied through the race. For tyre choices, I'm going to go with the medium front and rear. It's quite a warm track temperature, so we're going to want to use medium tyres just so we don't overheat them. And looks like some of the other riders have gone for this choice as well today, so they're going to be using mediums and softs all around. Some riders even going for the harder choice on the front there with Petrucci, and seems like the rest of the midfield are using the medium front and rear combination as well. Wanted to make sure that my audio settings were all right for today, so we make a fairly decent start off the grid there. We don't want to get too tied up with many battles here just to avoid some damage, but we do make up a few places off the start, gaining on the Ducatis here. Now got to hit the braking zone. We want to take a nice outside line just to avoid any contact with the other riders, and running just a little bit too wide there actually onto the blue layer outside the track. But we are up into 16th place so far, which is a pretty good start, and we do have 7 laps in this race to try and gain the rest of the time. A little bit heavy on the front brake there actually means I'll run wide and lose a couple of places, and we've made contact with Lacia Spargo now, so unfortunately going to have to retry this race. That's 2 races in a row now that have had to be restarted for collision, but hopefully this one will go a little bit better. So this time we'll stick it to power mode 2, try and get a better launch, and again just keeping it cautious on the outside of the circuit. We don't want to make any contact, otherwise that will affect the whole race with damage to the front end of the bike. And using the power of the Yamaha to actually get past some of these less powerful machines there, and making contact with Zarco there, luckily didn't pick up any damage with that light bit of contact. It seemed to be side to side contact, so no damage to the front end of the bike, which is good. But versus the first attempt of the race, we've actually not gained as many places, so we're going to have our work cut out for us for sure in this race. And again, just the back end sliding just a little bit, so I'm going to actually lower the engine braking now. Not paying attention, I've actually lost any ground I've made up, which is pretty unfortunate, but we're definitely going to be able to make some gains on these other riders later in the race. So just got to keep it smooth and make sure we don't overheat the tyres. And we were only in 21st position anyway just before making the mistake and running wide there. Just demonstrating why I don't use too much engine brake, because the back end tends to push the bike out wide. Someone on Facebook, a recent friend I've been speaking to, has actually said that he prefers to use a lot of engine brake to actually help the bike turn in, but it all depends on the different style that you use. And up into power mode 2 now, getting the move done on one of the Aprilias there, and very, very heavy on the brakes, trying to not run into the back of the KTMs in front of us there. So that's one place up on Iannone to get us started, and keeping in power mode 2 to get the run on. That'll be Alicia, Pol Espargaro actually there. So we've got 2 positions on this lap so far. Let's see if we can get any more. We just want to be really careful with trying to get the move on Oika Lecuona there. He covered off that line quite well, so we had to back out of that move. And we do have a little bit of spare fuel to use later on in the race, so I'm just gonna keep it calm and try to just keep the pace going. Obviously not being as competitive as maybe I normally would be, but it is just to keep up with using the helmet camera and getting used to it as races go by, and we should then pick up the pace a little bit more. Put it into power mode 0 just to give us the traction coming out of the first corner, and then up into power mode 2 in the slipstream of Lecuona now, actually getting a really good drive out of that first corner. We're going to get the move done on Espargaro and on Lecuona late on the brakes, and Zarco all back there actually quite early on the brakes, so luckily the bike slowed down in plenty of time. Again, up into power mode 2, the Yamaha really fast on this straight now, and again we can try and make a move around the outside, but we don't. Oh, actually we have got that move done, brilliant stuff, and puts us into 17th place. But that Rabat does come right back round our outside there and gets the move back done. We're having a really close battle with this Ducati now. Up into power mode 2 and get the move done round the outside again, and hopefully that should keep us in 17th place. And as this is a live stream, it's like we have one single viewer in this race, so hello to whoever you are. Having a really decent battle towards the back of the field now, which is unfortunate, but still having some really good battles. I'm running really wide, unfortunately, out of that last corner. Again, we're going to keep it in power mode 0 just to get the drive out of this first corner. Bit slidey on the rear there, and up into power mode 2. This Yamaha being really fast on the straight. We're going to try and blast past the KTM under braking, but we slide it too wide. Just too late on the brakes there. But we're going to be a little bit cheeky now and actually use the running wide to give us a drive back out of that corner. And fortunately, we did lose a little bit of time, but not too much, because we were just behind the KTM, which we still are, luckily, so that mistake not costing too much time. So with only 3 laps left to run in this race now, we have to try and keep our cool now, just to try and get into that top 15 and at least gain a point from this, because it could be a bit disappointing not having any points taken away. I just want to get our braking point a little bit better this time and not run wide, because this right hander is really sharp and it's so easy just to run out onto the green and lose a lot of time. And again, just a little bit too wide there, but we're going to use the pit road actually to rejoin the circuit. Not gaining any time from that, luckily. Back into power mode 1. Again, we're going to get the bike turned nice and early, and nearly running it off circuit there. Just turning in a little bit of dirt tracking now as well to keep things entertaining. And this circuit and not having too much experience on it, I'm struggling to find a flow and to make some gains on the KTM up ahead. Again, unfortunately running on the green now, I know that's not the best thing to do and would be illegal in a real race, but I suppose not gaining any time in my eyes means that it's sort of acceptable to run on the green as long as you're not gaining any time from it. And with the field being so much tighter this year, it's actually not much difference between the KTM that we are now trying to catch versus the Yamaha that we are on, which I believe is a 1-year-old version. I'll check on that because I'm pretty sure Fabio actually got the Spec A bike in real MotoGP, so difficult to tell on the spec, but still we're gaining a little bit now on Polispargo, luckily. Just trying to keep up with his pace and hopefully make some more gains over the next 2 laps. And a little bit on the grass there, just turning the bike in a little bit too soon. And we've got a whole bunch of riders now up ahead, which if we can keep it clean, we could hopefully get involved with on the last 2 laps. Of course, next lap being the final one, so we need to really keep it clean and try to find some time over the riders up ahead. And it's normally I could have been in maybe top 6 places using the standard chase cam, but the helmet cam, unless you try it and you really try to race with this level of AI, it's really challenging. So we've gained half a second on this lap. There's plenty more potential to try and gain just a little bit more time. Getting us onto the green now, we did run a bit wide, but using power mode setting 2 all the way to this final lap, all the way up to the end of the race now, and lay on the brakes. We're going to see if we can try and squeeze a move on the KTM, which we have. We've managed to get all the way through. Very daring move on the brakes. But can we get the move done on the KTM? It's power mode 2 setting, making the bike so much faster in a straight line. Back end starting to go a little bit now, with that medium rear probably starting to come to the end of its life a bit. But we've got Oliveira on the other Tech 3 KTM. We've got to try and make a move pass, but plenty of positions to gain if we can get this done. The target of this race was to score some points, and we go right down the end, right down the inside of Oliveira there. Really close stuff. I don't think we're going to make any more moves for the rest of this race, but we will see what we can get. We don't want to throw away the points position. Marquez covering off the inside there, and very tight. We managed to just squeeze him out and take a very interesting 14th place there. So maybe that move a little bit too aggressive, but we really did fight for it in that race, and the end result actually being our fastest lap was actually only half a second off the market, so definitely starting to make some gains using this helmet cam. And the fastest lap of the race actually going to Vinales, so actually to Cal Crutchlow, so good race for him to go fastest lap, but only 8th. So that is it for this race, and we will see you next time on track. Thanks for watching.